So before we talk about dividing fractions or review dividing fractions, let's go back real quick and talk about multiplying fractions. So multiplying fractions is simply just multiplying across the top and multiplying across the bottom. So go ahead and just copy this problem down, and then we're going to go over it. So remember, in multiplying fractions, we either multiply all the way across the top, which is 3 times 1, which is 3, and then 5 times 3 is 15. Is this in lowest terms? No. So we have to divide or reduce by the greatest common factor. What is the greatest common factor? It is 3, right? So we're going to divide by 3, top and bottom. And when we divide by 3, 3 divided by 3 is 1, and 15 divided by 3 is 5. Now, some of you already know how to cross cancel, and cross cancel is really cross reducing. That's another name for it. You're just pretending like it's a fraction. For example, look at 3 and 3. Pretend like it's 3 over 3. What can you divide by? 3. 3 divided by 3 is what? 1. So you cross this out. It's now a 1. 3 divided by 3 is 1. You're going to cross that out. Can you reduce 1 over 5? No. Anytime you have a 1, you can't reduce. That's as low as it can go. Now, 1 times 1 equals 1, and 5 times 1 equals 5. Now, do you see how you get to the same answer? Yes, right? All right, I'm going to give you a couple of problems. I want you to write them down. So after you write them down, I want you to pause the video and solve them. When you are done, then you may continue the video. So here's your next problem. I'm going to give you a couple of problems to try. Let's see. Let's try these. 3/8 times 7/9 3/4 times 2/7 6/7 times 2/7. Okay. Now your answers must be in lowest terms. If you know how to cross cancel or cross simplify or cross reduce, go ahead and do that now. So pause the video, try all 3, and then press play when you're done to check your answers. Okay, so let's see how you did. You could multiply straight across the top. 3 times 7 is 21, and 9 times 8 is 72. Now, that's a very large number. And if I reduce by 3, maybe I could try 3 and see if that works. I know that 21 divided by 3 is 7, but I'm not sure what 72 divided by 3 is, so I'm just going to work it over here on the side. Does 3 go into 7? Yes. 2 times. 2 times 3 is 6. That leaves 1. Bring down the 2. Does 3 go into 12? Yes. 4 times. That's 12. Okay, so it goes into it 24 times. So 72 divided by 3 is 24. I think that is in lowest terms. I don't think I can reduce that any further. So that looks like my answer. But let's see if I cross cancel. Would it be a lot easier? Well, I'm looking at this 3 and 9, and I know that I could divide by 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1, and 9 divided by 3 is 3. So let's see if this is easier. Oh, look at this. 1 times 7 is 7, and 8 times 3 is 24. So that was a lot easier, wasn't it? All right, let's look at number 2. I can multiply straight across, get 6 over 28. I could reduce probably by dividing by 2. And let's see, that would be 3 over, let's see, 28. If you didn't know it, you could divide it off to the side. So 2 goes into 2 one time. 1 times 2 is 2. Subtract. Bring down an 8. 2 goes into 8 4 times. 4 times 2 is 8. So it looks like 28 divided by 2 is 14. I don't think I can reduce anymore, but let's go ahead and cross cancel and see. I can't cross cancel the 3 and the 7, but if I look at the 2 and the 4, think about it. 2 over 4, I can reduce that by dividing by 2. So 2 divided by 2 is 1. 4 divided by 2 is 2. Now, 3 times 1 is 3. 2 times 7 is 14. I'm done. And the last one, number 3. I don't think I could cross cancel, can I? A 6 and a 7 and a 2 and a 7. So 6 times 2 is 12 and 7 times 7 is 49. Do you think we could reduce that any further? Let's see. I don't think we can. So that looks like it's already in lowest terms. So that is the answer. So let's look at the next sheet. Division of next, oh, let me go back and make sure I didn't miss a slide. Here we go. Fraction division. When you are dividing fractions, this is just a quick review. Division of fractions. You write the first fraction the same. You change the division sign to multiplication. You write the reciprocal. Do you remember what this reciprocal is called? You flip it, right? You cross cancel if you can. Then you multiply and simplify to lowest terms. So here is the difference right here. You have to do this first. Then you multiply. That's the only difference. So the reciprocal over here that I wrote, the reciprocal is you're flipping the second fraction. So if the second fraction was 1/3, the reciprocal would be 3 over 1 or 3. 5/8. The reciprocal is 8 over 5. What about 1 and 1/4? That's a mixed number. So you have to change it first to an improper fraction. Do you remember how to do that? You're going to go around the world. We're going to multiply and plus. Remember? Multiply and plus. Multiply and plus. 4 times 1 is 4 plus 1 is 5 over 4. What's the reciprocal of 5 over 4? You have to flip it. What is it? 4 over 5. That's the reciprocal. That's flipping it. So you can't flip a fraction unless it's a fraction or an improper fraction. Now, what if it has a whole number? You always put a 1 under it. Then you could flip it like this one. Look at 7. 7. As a fraction, it's 7 over 1. Then you flip it, it becomes 1 over 7. Does that make sense? So let's look at this example, okay? Write this down. I'm going to have you solve this, okay? Example 1, write this down. 7/8 divided by 5/6. Write that. So to solve this, going back up to the top, we're going to write the first fraction the same, which is 7/8. We're then going to change the division sign to multiplication, and then what are we going to do to 5/6? We're going to flip it, right? So 7/8 times 6 over 5, you could cross cancel. When you get 21 over 20, you're going to get 1 and 1 over 20. Write that down. So what I'm going to show you right here, and you're going to be able to just look through these examples. Example 2 is a 4 divided by 1/6. I would make sure that I know to put a 1 under the 4. You're going to then change the division to a multiplication sign, then flip to 6 over 1. Becomes 24 over 1, which equals 24. Okay? You could think of it as KISS. Keep it, switch, switch. And this is only for division. Okay? I've given you several examples to look at, and you could try these in your notebook. Pause the video when you need to. We did 3 examples of multiplication here, just as practice. Division of mixed numbers, you're going to do basically the same thing, except for the only difference that you do before, like I said, is that you have to convert mixed numbers to improper fractions first. An improper fraction is over here, 5 1/2. 2 times 5 is 10, plus 1 is 11. This is called a mixed number. This right here is called what? What is that called? Now, what's 11 over 11 over 2? What is that called? This is called an improper fraction. Improper fraction. Okay. So again, the only difference here is you're going to convert the mixed number to improper fractions. Same steps. I give you several examples here, so pause the video, write it out, solve it, so you can see that you're doing it correctly. Okay, you pause it at any time. I walk you through all the steps and I show you the answers. Okay, here's example 3, 7 over 4 divided by 2. Before you can do anything, you have to put a 1 over the whole numbers before you can flip it. Okay, pause the video at any time, but I want you to try these problems and then check your answers. All right, let's do this one together real quick. So go ahead and pause the video now. Try example 5 on your own, and then press play when you're done. So check your answer to make sure you did it correctly. Remember, when you are dividing mixed numbers, to change them into improper fractions before you switch the division sign to multiplication, then flip or find the reciprocal of the second fraction. Okay, now I would like for you to do these problems on your own and pause in between when you are done.